Please take your seats quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Hi guys, and welcome to oneminutetennis.com. In today's session, I want to talk to you about pushing, and more specifically about how to avoid pushing on your forehand even when under pressure, which is something that a lot of people struggle to do. One of the most common questions that we get asked at 1 Minute Tennis is, how do I keep my racket speed and spin under pressure? I play good in practice, but when it's a match, and especially at the big stages of a match, I tend to slow down and push the racket through, and I can't seem to solve this. And although it's not true for everybody, for most players, this is down to a technical issue because they open the racket face too early. Let me show you what the problem is, and then I'll show you a great solution. So we go into the forehand stroke, we go around the world here, we go into the pat the dog position, and then coming up to the ball, the racket should stay in that position and then naturally square up and swing at the ball. But what a lot of players do, I'm sure the vast majority of people watching this video, is that when it's tense and when it's nervous, and maybe all the time, they go into this stroke here and they open the racket here. And so now the racket is either neutral or slightly open at contact. And if you make even a few strokes with the racket open, then instinctively you'll have to slow the stroke down to actually keep the ball under control. Now, strangely enough, watching tennis coaches play and watching your local pro practice with you can sometimes bring about this movement, because tennis players, no matter what their level of play, when they're coaching and hitting with the students, often open up the racket to control the ball and send a very nice ball back to the player with very little spin. So you can even get this habit by watching the teaching pros. But it's really hard to get rid of because it's happening in a fraction of a second. For example, just watching on the video here, which of these strokes did I open too early on? Because I could feel it, but it's really hard to see. And when you add the stress and tension of a match and the situation and the pressure of an oncoming fast and difficult ball, this can be a really difficult problem. But to get the feel of this, I got a great trick. What I suggest that you do is go through the stroke as a shadow and then come down into the pat your dog position here and then place a tennis ball on the top of the racket here. And then from here, if you open too early, I'm now going to deliberately open too early and the ball goes back. But now I go through the stroke into the pat the dog position here, the racket's closed, and now I'm going to open at the correct time. And now the ball just drops to the side. Once again, incorrectly, through the stroke, into the pat your dog position here. And now I open the racket early and the ball is thrown behind me. And again, through the stroke, into the pat the dog position at the bottom here. And now I open at the correct time and the ball is going forwards or stays level. This is a great way of getting the feel of the stroke. And we learn with feelings, we don't learn with words. Something like tennis can only be learnt by getting the feeling of the movement. Then from here, we could make a progression and start to self-feed. So I go into the take back, go into the pat the dog position, and now I'm going to self-feed. And the ball is beside me. And there, I didn't open the racket too early. And if I don't open the racket too early, then I will be rewarded for racket speed and spin. The tendency to slow the racket down and push the ball will disappear, and the tendency to swing faster, use more racket speed, use more spin will actually be created even under pressure. I hope this makes sense. I'd love to know how this works for you, all the players that you coach. You know I love your feedback and I try to reply to every single comment. And maybe I can help you more with your game. This lesson, like many of the others that we put on YouTube, was individually designed for one of our online subscribers, solving their specific problem. Maybe we can solve your problem. We provide a unique online service doing video analysis, personalized lessons such as this, and one-to-one consultations. It really is a unique service, and we're helping players of all ages, all levels, and all over the world. But to avoid pushing in your game, use this little trick and check your stroke out. Remember, go round into the stroke, into the pat the dog position, and then swing forwards, and the ball should be beside you, and then you know that you've got perfect timing of the opening of the racket, and you'll be encouraged to hit with power, speed and spin and not slow the ball down and push. Thanks for watching. See you next time for more unique tennis lessons that really work.